Hey everybody, so Biden is making like Oprah with all the pardons. You get a pardon, you get a pardon, and you get a pardon. Hunter got 10 years. No, not the prison sentence he deserves. He got pardoned for 10 years. Joe just basically said, hey, remember your 40s? Don't worry about it, man. That whole midlife crisis and being an international bagman thing for the family? Well,
forget about it.
And now they're saying that Fauci, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, FBI head Christopher Wray, all might get preemptive pardons.
But now is the time to do what you're told.
I hope these pardons are like Pfizer pardons. Good for about a week, and then it loses its efficacy. Only you can't keep running back to get those booster pardons. John Kerry, the climate change czar, got a painting of himself in the State Department. Yes! Finally, some deserved recognition for his accomplishments. Said no one. Maybe Kerry should have rejected the painting. After all, it did use petroleum products, no doubt. The painting is not very good. It didn't capture all the plastic pollution in his face. Not a convincing likeness. Did Hunter paint this for a kickback? It's okay if he did. He's pardoned, you know. Women in parliament from other Western countries are standing with American women, proving that lonely, hostile, old-maid cat ladies can be found everywhere. Not just America. And they can make cringy videos just as well as you can. So a recent poll of voters had Biden coming out as the worst president in history. And I'm sure that Biden would like to challenge those voters to an IQ and push-up contest.
Let's do push-ups together.
Maybe smack them in the ass a little bit. Given the voters feeling that way, means that this was the most dishonest coverage of a president in mainstream news history. The mainstream news with their Ivy League journalists showed themselves to be pseudo-intellectual car salesmen trying to unload the biggest lemon on the lot. Actually, the metaphor is even worse. An ancient, barely running used car that had driverless car technology. It was a driverless presidency. You didn't know who was driving the car, but you knew that that car was a piece of shit. Dishonest media often works in tandem with dishonest academia. Naturally and predictably, earlier this year, a survey among historians ranked Biden as the 14th best president. 14th.
It's beautiful.
The idea of Biden being the 14th best president is about as believable as that scene in The Irishman where Robert De Niro kicks the hell out of the store clerk. And with that kind of discrepancy, it's not hard to see the formula here. You'll know who they picked as dead last. Naturally. The first Republican to win the popular vote in 3 decades, to make unprecedented inroads with minorities everywhere. The media will work extra hard to make those facts quickly forgotten. But facts they are. And it shows that these historians, these experts, produced from far-left academic circles, are completely out of touch with the general public. More likely, they have no regard for the general public. It's a very Rotten Tomatoes kind of dynamic. The critics versus the people who actually matter. And speaking of movies, wow.
Don't talk down to me. Don't you ever talk down to me. You are a movie star. Nothing more.
If there was one line an actor should memorize, that would be it. Not to say it, of course, but to just realize it. Has Hollywood finally gotten the message? I don't think so.
It's naive and ignorant and arrogant.
Hollywood let everybody know who they were rooting for. But it wasn't shocking because they won't stop telling you. And now that Trump has won and the election is over, I'd like to thank the Academy. Without your tone-deaf, belittling disdain, this accomplishment wouldn't have been possible. Thank you. So many of these celebrities promised to leave the country, and yet, where's the for sale signs? They are shutting down their Twitter accounts, though, and moving over to Blue Sky. Someone needs to explain to them that leaving Twitter isn't the same thing as leaving the country. A brief word, if I may, about my channel.
God, help me. Help me, Rod. Help me.
Yes, help if you can. Help by interacting, subscribing. If you'd like to donate, I just started my Patreon page, patreon.com/jokesandApoint. Link in the description. For the people who have contributed, you know who you are, and I know who you are, and I appreciate it. Morbidly interesting, but the murderer of United Health CEO was caught. The assassin who shot him in the back was a leftist, surprise, an Ivy League anti-capitalist. And he was spotted at Starbucks before the murder, and then busted at McDonald's after the murder. An anti-capitalist at Starbucks and Mickey D's. Hypocrisy always gets in the way with these guys. There's some trying to say that he was a right-winger, but look who's celebrating the murder. Taylor Lorenz herself, formerly from the Washington Post, champion of the far left, and a painfully unconvincing actress.
Horrifying. I'm so sorry. I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
She said she was joyful about a guy getting shot in the back. She immediately tried to walk it back a little bit to explain her words, but look at her face. Yep, I was happy to hear about a murder. Tee hee hee. My question is, when Taylor Lorenz expresses joy about first-degree murder, does she mean it in the Kamala Harris presidential campaign of joy kind of way, or is it different?
But joy cometh in the morning.
This is revealing because this is how the left rolls. The grievance mentality easily pivots to vengeance, to the faceless enemy that needs to be eliminated. I guarantee Taylor Lorenz has no personal experience with the CEO from United Health. She's joyful purely on ideological grounds. Don't need to know this guy, don't need to know he's a human being, don't care. In her mind, this guy's totally Nazified. And I guarantee she feels the same way about Trump and his supporters. So when Trump was nearly assassinated and Trump's supporters died, I wonder what face she made. Since Trump's victory, I have to say it feels like masculinity is back.
I gave my love a story that had no end. I give.
And part of healthy masculinity is the instinct to protect. Daniel Penny defended others against an unhinged, threatening psychopath, putting Jordan Neely in a chokehold. If that had happened in 2020, it would be another reason for BLM to burn another city, and for white liberals to beg for forgiveness. But in 2024, Daniel Penny was sensibly released, even though he was accused of murdering a street performer, a Michael Jackson impersonator. Just as it is with Taylor Lorenz, ideology matters more than any other detail. If Jordan Neely was white, Daniel Penny would never be charged. It doesn't matter that Neely was also restrained by a black man, or that a black woman was protected by Penny's actions, or that Neely had a violent past, and tragically should not have been on the street in the first place. In these cases, the media doesn't have to prove there are racial motives in crimes. For them, it's perfectly okay to assume it, and to broadcast it, to essentially shoot the faceless, soulless white guy in the back. So our takeaway here should be, it's okay to defend yourself, but only from the white psychopaths. I mean street performers. Michael Jackson impersonators, no. Elvis impersonators, yes. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Be sure to pass around to anybody who might like my content. And I'll see you the next time.